It's a fun day in the world of Magic the Gathering. We just got a leak for Dominaria Remastered. And on top of that, there are over a dozen new Secret Lair bonus cards as well.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The Magic Historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings! Owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends! I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered to talk about magical goodness. The first thing on the list today is talking about the Dominaria Remastered leak. Now, this is a somewhat small leak in that it's essentially just confirming the name and the release date of this product. But there has been an Amazon posting for Dominaria Remastered. It is slated to release in the beginning of January 13th, and on top of that, it's not just going to feature draft boosters, but it's also going to feature collector boosters. There's no sign of set boosters, so at this time it's just draft and collectors. Now, most likely what this product is, because people's imaginations are running away with them, it's like, Dominaria Remastered, maybe this is like Time Spiral Remastered, where they're taking a block and cramming it together, but then you go, wait a minute, Dominaria is actually like a ton of sets. If you basically go all of the sets that are set on the plane of Dominaria, that's a huge swath of sets. So people are thinking, hey, they're gonna pick all these different things from all these sets. Maybe we're getting a bunch of awesome stuff from the invasion block, and obviously reserved list stuff is off the table, right? But that's not what's going on here. I mean, I've been predicting this for a while now. What this is going to be, and I feel very, very confident saying this is going to be Double Feature 2.0. So if you don't remember what happened, we had the Innistrad sets, right? So you had Crimson Vow, and you also had Midnight Hunt. And after both those sets released, what Wizards did in January of the next year, they crammed them together into like a monster movie silver screen double feature set, where all the cards from both sets were crammed together, given a black and white style silver screen treatment with special foils and things like that, and just kind of dumped back out there. Now that product did very poorly. It is actually one of the biggest failures in recent Magic times in terms of consumer reaction. From Wizards' standpoint, I don't know how they view it because they sold it all, right? So it's sometimes hard to tell how Wizards views a product versus how the consumers do. But overall, Double Feature was a panned set. So what's going to happen this time around? They're going to take the upcoming Brothers War set, they're going to take the Dominaria set United that we're about to get, and put them together and create Dominaria Remastered. Now, if they're smart, here's what they're going to do. The special treatment for all of these cards will be done in original Magic borders. We've seen them dabble with this with things like Modern Horizons, and also with that one Secret Lair where they reimagined Planeswalkers with the old school wording and old school borders. I mean, if they want to go really hardcore, the way to really hit the right notes with this is go old school borders and make the foils have old school wording. So you can get special alternate frame editions that have the old border and are worded with the crazy, clunky, old school wording of Magic. So I feel very, very confident that this is going to be another double feature. Everything lines up perfectly for it. We look at the situation. It's coming out in January, the exact same time we got one of these releases previously. We've got two Dominaria sets that can be crammed together. But this one might be an actual success. If Wizards of the Coast does this one right, it could fly. See, I think Wizards has tapped into the fact that they have a whole bunch of different range of customers. Yes, you have your casual Commander players and things like that, but you also have a nostalgia crew who's been around forever and loves this old school stuff. And because they've been around forever, a lot of these guys have jobs in like technology fields, science fields and stuff, pulling in some serious bank. so they can afford to buy these premium sets, right? So Wizards of the Coast, if they angle this stuff right, it can be huge for them. So I personally believe this is absolutely going to be a double feature style set with the collector booster aspect added on as well. And I'm curious to see how they're going to do it, because this will be the make or break moment for those double feature style sets. If you don't really know how Wizards of the Coast does things, they actually operate about 1.5 to 2 years out. So the stuff they're designing right now, we're not going to see for 2 years. And the stuff we've seen right now, they developed years ago. So they're not really quick and responsive when it comes to making changes to products and stuff, because there's all the time it takes to print it. So usually it takes a couple of iterations of something for Wizards to fully decide if it's a failure. So right now, this is going to be the pinnacle moment where we're going to go, okay, either these are a product that we toss on the heap and Wizards stops making them, or the Dominaria Remastered version is so intense that it basically makes this a new offering and we'll get it on the regular. That's basically how I see it. There's no two ways about it. Either it's going to be a rousing success and it becomes a more permanent fixture, or it's going to be a failure and they're going to quietly sweep it under the rug. And I think if they go the same route they did with the previous one and they don't curate the cards in it, that's going to be a problem. But if they do it the right way with the old borders and everything, they will hit those notes. Now, let's talk about the Secret Lair bonus cards. So up on the screen, I'm going to put an image. We're starting out by looking at a couple of slivers. And I've got to be real with you, my friends. There are a ton of slivers on this bonus list. So the ones on the screen right there that you can see are the, what do you have? You have the Cloud Shredder and you have the Opaline Sliver to start with. But we actually have, how many are on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of the bonus cards that we're looking at today are slivers. So I'm not actually going to put every sliver up on the screen, because the truth is these are kind of underwhelming bonus promos. If you look at them, they're literally just extended border. So if you're somebody who's super excited about slivers, then yes, this is going to be a big deal to you, right? Okay, cool, they brought the slivers back. And since you're hyped about it, let me tell you, there's actually going to be at least 52 different Secret Lair bonus slivers. So there's a whole range of them. And I'm going to list them all off for you, and then we'll dive into the rarer, cooler ones, okay? So for the slivers, on top of the ones that I've already shown you, we have the Diffusion Sliver, Siphon Sliver, Spiteful Sliver, Mana Weft Sliver, Might Sliver, Cloud Shredder, I already said that one, Crystalline, and Hibernation. So that's the full-on list of slivers. Now, you'll notice on the screen by now, you should be able to see that Reliquary Tower, and that is one of the rare bonus cards. These are the ones that I am a huge fan of. These schematic versions, like Reliquary Tower, is already a really appealing card. A land that says, oh, look, you have no maximum hand size anymore. When I started, we had Library of Lang, but that was just an artifact you had to pay 1 to put out. It didn't produce mana, and it did give you some extra abilities, but mainly it was just there to let you have as many cards as you want in your hand. And Reliquary Tower takes it to the next level. They gave us Spellbook back in the day, which was a 0 casting cost artifact that does the same thing, but the fact that this is a land is really just fantastic. Do you know what I mean? I really, really like Reliquary Tower, and I love the artwork for this one. I love the sunken vibe of it. You know, like this is some place where you can go and find ancient relics of power, and you can tap into it for mana. The artwork behind it looks absolutely great. Like, I love that it's a combination of just not mana, but also knowledge as well. It just allows you to somehow expand your mind as a planeswalker until it's limitless by connecting with this one particular building. Oh, and I love the way these rares have these sketches in the background with the little elements of them, right? It just adds another layer of flavor. The Blueprint Secret Lair cards are a big win. We have multiple of them. The next one is Hedron's Archive. This is really solid, right? 4 casting cost artifact, taps to give you 2 mana, or you can pay 2 mana, tap it, and sack it to draw 2 cards. It's funny because when this card first came out, I was kind of like, oh, that doesn't seem too bad. This is all right. And then when I started playing with it in my cube, I went, oh, wow, this thing is actually pretty dumb. I mean, it's not as broken as the crazy fast mana from the earliest days of Magic the Gathering, but seriously, an artifact that costs 4 to put out, that taps for 2, and then when you don't need the mana, you can just go, you know what, I'm going to sack it and draw cards. That is awesome, right? And the Hedrons are really cool as well because they're tied into the Eldrazi. These are the devices that were used to basically trap them in a stasis field, and I like the fact that the Hedrons can serve multiple purposes. Here we have one as an archive. A part of one of these Hedrons was actually embedded into Garruk's skin to help him fight the curse that Liliana had put on him with the chain veil. Like, the Hedrons are really cool magical objects, and they all float up in the air around on Zendikar. It's just a really nice vibe, and this one looks great, right? It's got that mystical sort of puzzle box vibe. That's how you get your knowledge out of it. You crack it open like one of those puzzle boxes and hope that one of them pinhead guys from the horror movies don't show up and mess you up, because it does kind of have that like mystical, is there something ominous inside of it vibe, and that ties so great into the Eldrazi. And it's so cool that they did the blueprint version. You've got the little Hedron in the background, the tiny little elements. I just love all of the little bits of flavor that make magic magic. Now, the next blueprint card we're going to talk about, I'd like it if you guys could give me a little bit of insight into this, because I'm confused about this one. Why is Pilgrim's Eye a blueprint card? Is this used somewhere in some format that I don't know about? Is this big in Pauper or some side format? Because when I look at it, it's just, it's not a super powerful card, right? It lets you grab a land. It's just a little donk. It costs like 3 mana. It's not good. It's not a good card. I don't see the power in it. And when I look at it, the artwork's fun. It looks like a flying dream catcher, right? But ultimately, I look at this and go, is this Wizards going, we're going to make blueprints, but even the blueprints have to have some cards that when you get them aren't desirable? Or is it just that there's something specifically about the Pilgrim's Eye that I'm not seeing? I don't know. Let me know if you know, okay? Now, let's move on to Dakin Blackblade. Oh man, this is awesome. This is a lot of fun. Now, you might be a little bit confused when you look at it and go, whoa, 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 whoa. Why is the mana cost and the name where they are? That's because this is from the special left-handed secret lair, where all the cards are changed around for left-handed people. So you get the casting cost up in the corner, and I have to admit, Dakin Blackblade is one of my favorite characters of all time. And they got Richard Kane Ferguson, the original artist who did Dakin, to do this Dakin. I love that Dakin and his Blackblade and everything like that, they go to the lengths to get Richard Kane Ferguson in to do the artwork, because he is genuinely talented. He is one of the most iconic Magic artists of all time, and my personal absolute favorite Magic artist, right? So, Dakin Blackblade is a really cool card. Back in the day of Legends, people were super impressed with this guy. His casting cost is rough, right? 1 black, 2 blue, a white, and 2, so it's pretty restrictive. His power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control, and by today's standards, admittedly, as a legendary, he really doesn't feel that powerful. 6 mana for a creature that's power and toughness are just equal to the number of your lands is nowhere, like Wizards would not print a card on this power level now because it would get passed over immediately. But Dakin has that fan favorite, we love him. Like, I have multiple copies of Dakin. I love him, right? So this version is so much fun because you've got everything messed up, right? You've got the left-hand version. You look at the flavor text and it's a fun little joke. It says, the Blackblade determines not who is right, but who is left. That's great. That's so much fun, right? Because you got the double meaning. You go, who's left as in who's left-handed. But what it's really saying is the Blackblade doesn't determine who's right in an argument. It determines who's left alive after that argument. That is a great vibe. And look at the artwork. You've got Dakin wielding his blade. Check it out. I'm left-handed Dakin. It's just such a fun concept. And you know what? The fun doesn't stop there, because I got another crazy thing to show you that opens up a whole new wave of insanity. Take a look at the Shadowborn Apostle. Some of you just hearing the name already know what's going on, but some of you don't realize that this is going to be another persistent petitioner situation. So, Shadowborn Apostle is 1 black for a human cleric. It's 1/1. A deck can have any number of cards named Shadowborn Apostle, and you sacrifice 6 creatures named Shadowborn Apostle and pay 1 black mana to search your library for a demon creature card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Shadowborn Apostle is one of the coolest flavor concepts for these. You can have any number of cards in your deck. The idea of these clerics that bow down and worship, and when you get enough of them in this cult, they sacrifice their life force to bring a demon out. That's absolutely amazing. And take a look at the artwork too. You can see basically the Shadowborn Apostles giving up their life force to bring this crazy demon into existence. And it looks like in the background, the sun is flaring behind them, and this demon is reaching up and literally grabbing like the sun. It's like, what is going on? Is he literally pulling the power of the sun into himself? I love the completely shadowy form of this demon and the gigantic oversized fist that's reaching out to yank down upon the light. Like, this is really, really cool. And this isn't going to be the last Shadowborn Apostle. We've already seen 6 or 7 different persistent petitioners. They're going to create a whole range of these rare Shadowborn Apostles, and I think it's a great idea. People who want to build these decks with unlimited copies of cards, only having 1 or 2 variants of art is pretty disappointing. You throw the doors wide for this. Now people can go hardcore. They can really soup up their deck, put the nicest versions in there, and get super silly with it. And on top of that, it makes for a great bonus card in the Secret Lair pack, because no matter how many of them you get, nobody goes, oh, you know what, I only use 1 of those, I don't need it. It's always going to turn out to be, yes, there will be somebody who will take these from you. So my friends, if you haven't heard already, the Dominaria United lore, it's already out. The story started, 3 installments have been released, and I've put them all up over on Fantasy Geographic. The story is great. So come on over and check it out. You're going to enjoy it. Big thank you to all of my patrons, and I will see you, my friends, in the next video.